The ill-fated flight MU-5375 took off from Kunming in Yunnan province, and it was supposed to land in Guangzhou, but this flight went down almost 20,000 feet on Monday on 21st March. China has drastically improved its air safety standards over last 2 decades, and there has been no major incident in last decade. This crash makes it one of the first incidents in last decade, which is supposed to be one of the big tragedies that took place in China on 21st March. We know for a fact that the flight data recorder has been found. The black box, which was found recently, is now being investigated, and there is further investigation going into how the flight came down almost 20,000 feet within a minute or so. This is unprecedented. These investigations can take time and it's a long process. One of the officials named Zhu Tao, who is the head of the Civil Aviation Department in China, has said that the answers might not come out so fast, but we may have to wait for a long time before we can find out what brought down the flight. But this has not stopped people from speculating about the reasons behind why the flight crashed. There has been a few conspiracy theories which have gone around on Chinese social media. One of the conspiracy theories is that it was the US which was responsible for the flight crash, as the plane that was flying is a Boeing plane and Boeing is a US company. So the social media users speculated that maybe the US used some sort of cyber weapon to bring down the flight, and the reason US could have done so is because China has taken a certain position on the Russia-Ukraine war. This is one of the conspiracy theories that is still going around. The other conspiracy theory that we've heard in the past few days is that China Eastern Airlines had cut down the flight safety budget, and therefore there was not enough budget to go through the maintenance process which is required when the flights take off, and therefore the flight crash is a result of these budget cuts. We also know for a fact that these airlines in China are primarily owned by the state. China Eastern Airlines was not doing very well during COVID, and they have received certain funding from state-backed organizations. But the aviation safety standards in China were always not so great as they are now. There was a time when some of the airports in remote regions could not be reached. So there were certain companies based in the US that developed special navigation systems so that flights could take off from airports like Kunming and other airports in the remote areas such as the Ningxi airport, which is close to Arunachal Pradesh border. So these airports came up in early 2000s when China was trying to connect certain remote areas which were previously not accessible. So it was a US company based out of Alaska that developed the aviation system for the purpose of landing aircrafts and taking off from these very remote airports. Kunming Airport is approximately at a height of 1,800 meters. So it's not exactly a very easy landscape to navigate, and we know where the plane crashed. In the Guangxi region, it was the Tang County, where it was a pretty mountainous region where the plane crashed. And so we know that the plane was not exactly in a very easy region, so it had to kind of navigate its way through a difficult weather and the climatic conditions that were there on that day. So there's a history behind the US-China collaboration on developing these airports. But now, because of the crash, the conspiracy theories are fueling the tensions between both the countries. Though we know that China is not exactly backing these conspiracy theories, the state is not, because we know for a fact that the civil administration of China said that people should not be airing these conspiracy theories, and they are discouraging people from sharing conspiracy theories of this kind. So it's only at the level where people are kind of speculating on what could have been the reason, and the families of those who died in this tragedy are looking for answers, and it's a very emotional moment within China.